Let me switch gears, ask you about former President Trump's New York trial. Resuming this morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, Judge Merchan will give instructions to the jury, and then they will begin deliberating. During the prosecution's closing arguments yesterday, Trump took to Truth Social, writing this, boring. Trump also called out President Biden before heading into the courtroom. Watch this.
Make no mistake about it. I'm here because of crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. Is destroying our country. This country is being destroyed rapidly, not slowly, rapidly, on the borders, on energy, on inflation, on everything you can name. Afghanistan removal, and he's also destroying it with weaponization.
Congressman, you were at the trial last week. What's your reaction to the closing arguments? What insight can you share with us in terms of what you've witnessed, or do you think the jury will be fair here? How will they deliberate?
You know, a lot of it's going to come down to the judge's instructions. If this was a case on the merits, we would be looking at a chance of acquittal here. But this judge has put his finger on the scale in so many ways. And just being in the courtroom even a couple hours, you can see the difference between what he was sustaining in the way of objections versus upholding for the prosecution or defense. I'd like to think the jury would see through that because it was pretty blatant. And they seem to be paying attention and taking their role seriously. But we'll see. You know, these instructions are going to weigh heavily on it, and the fact that he would not let a witness come who was an expert in the election law when they're coming up with an obscure crime that President Trump allegedly committed. He would be the first person ever to have committed this crime and certainly been tried on it because it's kind of an invented crime. But we'll be watching those instructions for sure because that could weigh heavily on the jury. I like to think we'll see at least a hung jury and President Trump be able to continue his campaign and continue to work for the American people.
Your colleague, New York Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, is breaking news this morning. She is saying that she wants an investigation of what she's saying. She's filing a misconduct lawsuit against Judge Merchan overseeing this trial right now. Congressman, do you have questions about the judge in terms of why he is the judge taking on this case? Stefanik seems to feel that there's misconduct here. She's filing suit this morning.
Certainly, from his own personal campaign donations to his daughter and what she does to raise money. You start with the political bent. You add to that the gag order. You add to that what he's done to sustain. You add him not allowing testimony from the defense. You add to that the instruction he's giving the jury. There is a clear bias in this. It's really unfortunate because our whole way of life here in the United States is based on the rule of law, and he is no doubt perverting that.
Yeah, and she writes on X that she wants to call for an investigation to determine whether the required random selection process was in fact followed when Merchan was handed the case brought against Mr. Trump by Alvin Bragg. We don't know how that process took place, but she says it wasn't random at all.
Well, it would honestly be surprising if it does.
Okay.
If it was, I should say.
Congressman, thank you.